Alyssa.
Samantha.
Good to have you back.
Thank you.
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. My back is still quite sore, which is why I'm sitting so rigidly. But my strep throat is I feel 100% better.
Strep throat who?
Yeah, exactly. I'm still obviously taking my antibiotics because you have to take it for the whole time. Okay? Very important.
Medical PSA.
Yeah. But my symptoms are gone.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have you back. I mean, it was nice to record with Matt, but significantly more editing.
My feelings were hurt a little bit at one comment specifically that said it was their favorite episode ever. And I was like, out of the 37 that I've been on.
Well, more than 37.
Yeah, I don't even know what we're at now.
43. But we're at 44 total, and you've been in 43. But also, we put so much time and effort into other episodes. And that episode was literally just bars on the floor. We're just answering questions.
I'm just kidding though. I think that he did a really good job, and I could see it's fun watching you guys interact together, and I get to see it all the time. So I understand why people would be excited. Obviously,
people get a glimpse into Alyssa's vision.
Yeah, yeah. It was
what takes place in this house.
Yeah, no kidding. It was really nice what Matt said about me though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did tear up a little.
I knew it. I knew you would.
Matt doesn't really dole out the compliments or the niceties that often, so it was
it was like he was gushing
out of left field. He had nothing bad to say, he said.
I'm glowing review of you as a tenant.
yeah, I was like, wow, my tenancy is really secure right now.
There you go.
I'm surprised he didn't bring up the sponge incident, but I'm glad that we're past it.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
The purple cloth was on the floor though, and that was, I think, triggering for him.
Yeah.
Just as an aside, I hit my toe on my stairs going down there just now, and I really hurt it. It's hurting.
On the cement?
Yeah. Ooh. But it bent backwards.
Ooh, why would you ever tell me that?
Oh, it hurt so bad. One time I did that at my dad's house, and I actually ended up breaking my pinky toe, but it doesn't feel broken. But
this is okay, so I hate feet. We will get into the podcast. Yeah. I hate feet so much. And my parents used to own a deli. This coincides, just wait. My parents used to own a deli, and so I would work there. And the back door to the deli was this really heavy steel frame glass door, and our floor was kind of uneven right by that door. So when you pulled the door open, there was a little bit of a gap between the floor and the door. And the one day my dad opened the door, and the steel thing flipped back his toenail and cut his toe.
Oh.
And then he was screaming, and he was like, "You need to put a band-aid on my toe." And I was like, "Oh God, this is my worst nightmare." And his toe is gushing blood, and I was trying to put a band-aid over it. I was so lightheaded doing it, and I was I don't think a band-aid's gonna hold this, first of all.
Did he lose his toenail?
I can't remember. I don't think so.
Oh, wow.
But my dad was exclusively the person that got hurt at that deli. They were always "Don't hold the knife like that. Don't slice the cheese like that. Don't do this. Don't." They were always so worried we were going to hurt ourselves. And my dad was the only one. Do you remember those cheese slicers where they're a big rotating wheel?
Mm-hmm.
My dad, the one day, because there's a guard that goes around the back. And my dad was cleaning it, and he had taken the guard off, and then he had it turned on and accidentally grabbed the back of it. Yeah.
Dude.
He almost lost a fingertip that day.
Yeah, no kidding. I actually heard some pretty bad horror stories in shop class of sorry, I'm still losing my voice a little bit, but of alumni.
Yeah.
That had fucked themselves up with a miter saw.
No, in no world should we be trusting kids in elementary school with that.
Yeah, I mean, this was in middle school for me. Was it a miter saw? No, it was what's the one that we all used in?
The drill thing that goes...
No, I can't remember what it is. Not a seesaw.
A seesaw, right, yes.
Anyway, I really liked shop class. It actually made me want to take auto, and then I took auto, and I did not stay in it. But then a girl that I knew stayed in it, and she dissected a transmission.
There you go.
Took apart.
dissected a transmission.
But my homeroom class was the auto shop, and that teacher was so bomb.
There you go.
I loved him so much.
I remember in my middle school, two things. I was using the little drill thing where it's you press down,
yeah,
and the drill comes down.
Yeah.
Anyways, long story short, the drill bit like broke off midway through and like went like flying across the room.
Were you wearing your safety goggles?
I was.
Okay.
But not everyone else in the class was. And it came mighty close to taking out an eye. Oh. And then the other one, I think I might have told this in the podcast, but I was welding, and so you have to wear these like super fucking heavy, like thick aprons that are like, I'm pretty sure metal.
Yeah.
On the inside or something. But,
yeah.
And then I couldn't like undo it around the back for some reason, so I was like lifting it over my head, and I like lifted it over my head and like went to go pull it down and just fully pulled down my pants. I pantsed myself.
No.
In front of Mike Scheich.
Dude, literally people talk about him and I have no idea who that is.
Oh, really?
I cannot picture him like
how can you forget that name, man?
Well, I can't forget the name because people would because people
Mike
thought
Scheich.
he was like Prince Charming sort of thing. I remember he worked at a gas station.
Did he?
Yeah, but like I know so much about this kid and I don't know who he is.
Never once crossed paths.
No, I don't think we have.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have a story now.
Okay, go ahead.
We're changing the episode.
Fuck the topic that we were originally going in with. This is just high school memories at this point.
Yeah. In grade 11 chemistry, which I was suggested to not take grade 12 chemistry.
By whom?
My teacher.
Oh, that's a diss. That is fucking heavy shade.
It wasn't like she full on was like, I suggest you don't take Chem 12.
You do not have a bright path forward in this. I'm sorry to tell you.
And I really liked chemistry. I don't know. I was kind of sad, but like I really dropped the ball in chemistry. But anyway, my lab partner was also my biology partner. She was so smart, dude. Her name was Zoe. She was like, when I sat next to her in biology, I got an A because of that girl. Okay, my good grades were like directly correlated to sitting next to her.
Yeah.
She was unreal. And so she was my lab partner in Chem 11. And we were working with the Bunsen burners doing something. And you get like a safety speech, obviously, like when you're working with Bunsen burners. Our Bunsen burner lit like on fire at the tubing.
Oh, fuck.
And was like creating this like massive fire at our station. And I literally just like stepped back and I was like, I was like screaming and like did nothing. And Zoe was just like literally like leapt into action, like turned off the gas like she was supposed to, like did everything.
Turned off the gas like she did the things that we were just instructed to do.
And I was like in awe of this woman. I was like, oh my God. Like if that was me and like, I don't know, probably you, I mean, I'm not like no diss, but like.
That's a diss, that's shade.
But like honestly, like if your fucking Bunsen burner is like a flame in this like school, I don't know, that I couldn't do it. And she just like leapt into action and stopped it from spreading, and everybody's like staring at us. Just like standing there like, ah.
Okay, so we do not trust Alyssa in fire-related.
Okay, but interestingly enough, when I was bartending at the Cactus that you visited me at in Toronto, somebody, drunk people do weird shit. They had put a napkin like laying over the candle. Like we had real candles on the bar top.
Perfect.
And we were so busy. We were like in the weeds, we call it. We were so busy, we were in the weeds, and I was on like a well, which is where you make the drinks, like right where this had happened or whatever. So anyway, this like napkin goes up in flames, and I literally like, I think because I was just so in the zone, I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I literally, without even looking, I was still making a drink. I picked it up by the only piece of it that wasn't on fire, dropped it into the sink, turned on the sink, turned it off, and kept making drinks.
So you need to be in a high-paced restaurant environment. Casual fine dining to put out fires.
Yes, I couldn't believe it. Like the people sitting next to that person were like, "Oh my goodness!" Like, wow. And I like thought to
like, no fucking problem.
I literally was just like, "What just took over my body?" It was like mom reflex.
Your chemistry 11.
I was
safety chat is what took over your body.
This embarrassment will not happen to me again.
Yeah, and to back up you shading me about what I would do or wouldn't do, I did one time. I froze a juice box, grape juice specifically.
Okay.
And then I cut the top like kind of like open, and I was like, it was way too frozen to eat, so I was like, I'm just gonna like put it in the microwave. But the inside of juice boxes, for those that don't know what Tetra Paks are made of, there's like aluminum or like it's some kind of like metal on the inside.
Okay.
And long story short, I put it in the microwave and it lit on fire. And then it was like I was like watching it rotate on fire in the microwave, and I was like, what the fuck? Like I didn't know what to do because I was scared the microwave was gonna explode. So I just like ran away and I was calling to my brother. I was like, Stefan! I was like, there's a juice box on fire in the microwave, and he was like, get it out, and I was like, with what? And then he ran into the garage and he grabbed a fucking hockey stick and like opened the microwave with the hockey stick and flung the juice box like flaming out of the fucking microwave.
Where did it land?
In our kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it still on fire?
I think by that, like the torque of it flying through the air and then it falling on the ground and like in its own juices, it extinguished.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, that's positive that it was a liquid that lit on fire, I guess.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me that we've been friends for 10 years. We've had the podcast, which we talk for an hour at each time, and I still hear stories that I've never heard before.
There just hasn't been a good opportunity for me to bring up my juice box issues.
I remember doing that, though, actually. Lots of people put their juice boxes in the freezer.
And in the microwave, I'm sure.
No.
I'm sure that I'm not the only one.
Well, no, in the world, I'm sure you're not the only one, but that's definitely the first time I've heard it.
This is shade.
I've worked with a lot of people.
I was but a child, okay?
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
How old were you?
Like maybe 11? Or no, not even. I think I was in 6th grade. How old are you in 6th grade?
12, usually.
Okay, 12.
No, that's fair. I thought you were like in high school.
No.
Which is like still, honestly, if something lit on fire in the microwave, I'd probably call you to get mad.
Yeah, that's I would have done nothing different if it was today.
Okay, so that was just, I guess, like a little bonus.
That was just fun content.
Yeah, fun conversation. So today we wanted to talk about this, kind of like spurred from the gross things for the chicken. What was it? Chicken soup for the gross things soul.
Yeah.
The traveling story of me eating a fruit fly burger, which, by the way, I was editing downstairs and Sam was right next to me, and a fruit fly landed in my mouth on my tongue. Like, I attract fruit flies somehow just into my mouth.
That also came from South America. It was like, sup, bitch.
Central America.
Central America, okay.
Yes. Belize, probably Mexico, maybe. Don't know. Anyway, and so we were talking about, like, traveling stories and stuff like that. And so I thought that we could share some of our either funny or, like, embarrassing or just, like, interesting travel stories. I haven't traveled nearly as extensively as you, but I've been some places.
I feel like you've traveled quite a bit.
Yeah, I think for, like, a non-influencer, I've traveled quite a bit. You know, influencers, they jet set.
Yeah.
They're jet setters.
That's true.
But when I was thinking of all my stories, I realized that, like, they're all, like, funny or, like, awkward or whatever because I was drunk.
That's fair.
So, like, most of my stories are going to be because I was drunk.
The unfortunate truth is that most of my stories I am dead sober in.
Yeah.
So I have nothing to go off of there.
Yeah. Anyway, do you have a story that you want to lead with?
Okay, let me think about this. I'm like, caught off guard. I guess the first story that comes to mind, I hate myself. I can't remember if I've told this on the podcast or not, but it's a real gem. I was in Vietnam with a friend of mine, Alana, and we had extended our trip. We were there for like a PR trip, but then we extended our trip and we went to like a different area. And the first day we were both just feeling like really tired and whatever. So we were like, let's just like get massages and like chill. So
I think I remember this story.
So we went into this, the like spa in our hotel, and they were like, oh, here, they gave us like little cloths and robes. And then they gave us these like, I cannot even describe, just diapers basically. Like they gave us these like thin cloth, like full bottom, like underwear. Like I've had them give me like really thin like thongs and stuff like that before. But this was like covering my full butt.
Like a pull-up.
Yeah, like, you know, like a bonnet. It looked like that, but for my bottom.
Yeah. It
was the worst. It was, but we were like, okay. So, we were getting ready. They led me into this one room, and then they had Alana. They were walking her in a different direction. And so when I went into the room, they were like, okay, get changed, and then we'll come in a few minutes. And I was like, great. And they were like, lay on top of the table. And I was like, sure.
With your saggy
like bonnet underwear on. And I was like, okay. And when I turned around, there was 2 tables in there. And I was like, well, that's different. Okay. I was like, maybe they just put me in a couple's room. Whatever, it's fine. Because they were walking Atlanta in a completely different direction. Anyways, long story short, I got in the nude, put on my fucking bonnet underwear, laid down, like face down on the on the table. And then, like, literally seconds later, Alana walks in and she's like, oh God. And I was like, oh God. I was like, why would they do this to me? And she was like, I'm so sorry. And then the chick came in and she was like, you're supposed to be under the blanket. You're supposed to be under the I was like, you told me to sit on top of the table. Like, I swear to God, she told me to sit on top of, like, the table, on top of the blanket. And I was like, that's unusual, but sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, Alana walked in on me in my saggy bottom underpants.
And then you guys just got saggy bottom underpants massages together.
You know, I can't remember if she ended up staying in the room or not, because all that I recall, I had, like, a really bad ear infection right before I left. And it gave me, like, severe vertigo. Like, I could not get out of bed, couldn't eat. Like, it was so bad. And then it kind of subsided enough where I was like, okay, I can go on this trip and it'll be fine. But when I laid down to get the massage, I think, like, laying in that, like, position for some reason brought my vertigo back really badly. So I was just, like, hella nauseous, like, about to fucking pass out from vertigo. Like, throughout the whole massage. So honestly, I moved past the bonnet underwear thing pretty rapidly.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
But and then also that was the one where I've had so many weird massages. That was the one where they climbed onto the table and she just sat like straddled me.
Yeah. I remember you telling the story about the one massage. This was like years ago. Like, I think we were 19, and she like ripped your arm up.
Oh fuck!
And just like exposed your whole titty.
That was the first massage I ever got, and it was fucking horrifying because, like, my friend was like, oh, it's the best, like, get the deep tissue massage, whatever kind of thing. And I was like, okay. And so the lady was like, okay, what are you getting? And I was like, whatever she got, I'm fine with. And she was like, deep tissue? And I was like, sure.
Which is funny because you hate deep
Fuck
tissue.
a deep tissue.
Yeah.
That's why.
Oh, okay.
Fuck that shit, dude. But, like, I do not want someone, like, fucking, like, it was as if she was trying to crawl into my body via, like, my pores. Like, it was, like, the most, like, intense, like, fucking back-breaking pressure ever.
I live for that.
I hate it. And then, yeah, at one point she was, like, trying to stretch my arm, which normally, like, I really like when they massage your arm and your hand and stuff. Like, that's fucking just, like, underrated in a big way. Mm-hmm. But she just, like, stretched my arm backwards, like, over top of my head, and, like, I was obviously naked, so my full, like, breast was exposed to this woman. It was so bizarre. And then she also, like, again, it's like when you've gotten massages a couple times, it, like, gets less funny, but, like, when you're getting massaged for the first time and they start massaging upwards your thigh, like, there's just nothing quite like having someone's, like, a stranger's thumb that close to your butthole. Like, it's just...
I just don't think I've ever had somebody even go near.
Oh, she went full, like, she was really, like, massaging my buttock.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened to me. I've had them massage my buttock from the top, like the very top buttock area. Mm-hmm. Never had them go from below.
Yeah, she went right in there.
Thankfully, I like that also. Keep doing that. Keep not doing that.
She was like, let me get some strain right in this, like, under ass area.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That actually reminded me of that girl in high school who said that she gave hand jobs, but it was like a massage.
I was literally just thinking about that girl yesterday.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
She was the first person in that drama class thing that was nice to me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Was that Lindsay?
Tessa.
Oh, Tessa.
Thanks, Tess.
That's right. She was never there.
Don't know where she was, but she let me use her locker.
There you go.
We shared a locker in there.
What an angel.
She was an angel. Is an angel. I haven't talked to her. Don't know where she is.
Don't know her. She could be a horrible person now. Not sure.
I'm sure not.
She was great at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. Gosh. I wish I had, like, more crazy, like, travel stories, but gosh. Most of my shit, like, weird shit that happens to me is, like, in an airport.
Go on.
So the first one I want to tell is, like, not really my story, but, like, I was there, so I feel the right to tell it.
Fair.
So I was traveling with a boyfriend. Okay.
Nondescript,
a boyfriend. And this boyfriend was, like, particularly horrible at airports.
Okay.
Like, we traveled together so well. I can't even explain to you. Like, we like got over fights so easily. Like, no, like neither of us were really like picky. Like, it was great once we got to the destination. But the airport, it's as if he like lost his mind. It's as if he like took all rational thought and reasoning, left it in the cab.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one time, I think we were going like, well, I won't say where we were going because then you could like piece it together. But anyway, we were going somewhere tropical, and we had left like really early in the morning. And even when we were checking in, like he couldn't find his passport. Like he didn't even give the person his passport. And I was like, you want to take out your passport, bro? What do you think we're doing here?
And like, I need that for travel?
Yeah. And he was like, sorry, I'm just so tired. And I'm like, okay, so I'm like traveling with a child then, I guess. Like my child. And we get through security this time. Everything's fine. I mean, he's had some, I'll tell the one security story in New York later. We get through security, okay. Everything's fine on the flight. We have a couple drinks because I'm drinking back then. We get off the plane and we're standing at like the baggage carousel. And I'm like, okay, we're almost out of the airport. The stress is over. Everything's going to be fine. And this dog comes up to him and starts like sniffing at him. And he's like, oh, hey, look at this. And I'm like not paying attention. This dog is like
Oh, I've gotten in that trap before.
I thought it was a narcotics dog, okay?
Oh, I thought it was too. That's where this was
basically. So I'm like, finally, once I look over, this dog is like jumping on him, like onto his back. Like it's a big dog and he's kind of just like pawing at his back, not like attacking him, but just like alerting, right? And then my boyfriend at the time was like, hey, look at this. And then I looked and he started to like bend down to pet the dog. He's like, he loves me. And I'm like, oh, don't. I'm like, no, that's a, and then as soon as I'm like saying this, the whatever it is, police or whatever, come up to him. And he's like, I'm like freaking out at this point. Like neither of us are like, drug users or anything like that. Like I wasn't like worried, but you just like never know, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like, what could you have possibly like picked up sort of thing? Like,
who was I hanging out with this weekend?
Yeah. Like, is it a residue or something like that? Yeah. Anyway, I'm like, oh my God. And the police officer or whatever comes up and he's like, do you have any fruit in your bag, sir? my boyfriend at the time goes into his bag and pulls out like a squished brown mushed up banana out of his bag.
I have this banana that I was saving for banana bread for the last 3 months in the bottom of my backpack. Is that what you're upset about?
I looked at him and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, why did you bring a banana to this place where we can't, like, you can't bring fruit to places like this? Like, it's really even hard for Canadians to bring, like, fruit back from the States and stuff like that. Like, we're in a tropical destination. Like, you didn't think... Yeah. And he was like, I just didn't think about it.
Perfection.
I was like, oh my God. Anyway, thankfully, because you can still get fined for that. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, he just like confiscated the banana and went on his way. But it was kind of like a running joke as well because because he would like eat so many bananas and like we'd be trying to like leave the house and he'd be like, hold on, and then just like grab a banana quick, but like also need to brush his teeth and like tie his shoes. And I was like, of course you brought a banana. Of course. Why wouldn't you though?
It's essential for traveling.
Yeah. There was this other time we were in New York and he brought like a canteen of water. Tried to bring it through security, and we were in New York. Like the security line is like massive. Yeah. And it was like a Nalgene bottle or something like that. Like not like super expensive, but like, I don't know, a bottle. And they were like, you can't bring this through. And like, to me, it doesn't make sense when people like don't want to dump out their water anyway, because it's like, it's water.
And you're so literally, you just like get through security, you go to the other side, you fill it back up.
Exactly. That's to me, I'm like, obviously. Yeah. And they were like, you can't bring this through. And I guess they like wouldn't let him dump it out into the garbage can. Like he had to either get out of the line or like surrender the water bottle. And I'm already on the other side at this point. And he refused to give up the water bottle. So he
oh my God, I would be like, just let it go.
So he was like super flustered and was like, ah. And he had to get out of the lineup. And then I guess he like drank the water or something like that, and then like got back into the lineup, which was so long. Like I think I was sitting there for like 20 minutes or something like that, waiting for him to come back through. But he ended up keeping his Nalgene bottle.
Thank God.
I was like, why wouldn't you just surrender it? One time I tried to bring a beer through by accident, actually.
What? Oh, like in your carry-on?
Yeah, but like by accident. It was in my backpack. It was when I was traveling back from Kelowna to Saskatoon, when I was working in Saskatoon, and I had gone out the night before with some people, but like in Kelowna a lot of the times you like go to somebody's house and you just like bring beers in your backpack or something like that. Like it's like like a weird situation.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just had it in like the bottom of my backpack, but like I'd gotten pretty drunk. Like I don't think I remembered really like much of what I had packed, and so I was hungover, like trying to fly back, and my bag went through, and then they like pulled it out and they were like, did you mean to bring this through? And I was like, oh my God. I was like,
last night haunts me.
I was so embarrassed because like, I think that they knew that like I knew how to travel, because I was like, because I go through airports, not now obviously, but like I would go through airports all the time traveling with Cactus. So I was like, I felt like a pro sort of thing. And they were just like, so embarrassed, like everything.
You have a fucking brew at the bottom of your bag.
My flight was also like at 6 a.m. or something, so it's like I just have like a casual like breakfast beer in my bag. A warm breakfast bud.
Gross.
Anyway,
one time this was like one of my first trips basically ever. I was like fairly young, and I was bringing down my friend. My friend is Armenian. She's Armenian. And so anytime she would come to my house, she would bring presents, and it was like very like customary, like you come to me, you bring me presents, I come to you, I bring you presents kind of thing. And so her mom had explicitly asked me to bring a present for her. Okay. For herself, for the mom. Okay. And I was like, okay, so I got this like ice wine, which like I don't drink, so I would normally never travel with alcohol, but I know my rights. And so I had it in my suitcase. Yeah. And not my carry-on. And then I went through security, and they were like asking me what I was doing, where I was going, and all this kind of stuff. And it was like very like casual, normal trip. Like there was nothing like weird to like, no red flags. And they were like, we need to pull you into secondary. And I was like, for what? Yeah. And then they pulled me into secondary. I couldn't go on my phone. They made me like seize my phone to them, kind of thing. Weird. And then I just had to like sit there and wait. And there was like this clock that was just like,
like it's spooky.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck, because like it was just getting closer and closer and closer to my flight, and I was like, oh my God, like I fucking need to catch this flight. And I was like, what's going on? Like no one talked to me. I just was like sat down in a chair, and I was like, what's going on? Like who do I talk to? Where do I go? And they were like, just sit there. And I was like, oh, okay. So I just sat there like watching this clock, being like, what the fuck is happening here? They had pulled my suitcase off the line, and then he was like, do you have anything to own up to? And I was like, I don't think so. And then he like opened it up, and he was like, there's ice wine in here. And I was like, yeah. I'm like, it's not like I'm not allowed to travel with ice wine. He's like, you claimed that there was no alcohol in your persons. And I was like, with my carry-on, I don't have anything in my carry-on. Like, I'm not coming onto the plane with it. Like, what goes underneath? Like, who gives a fuck? Like, because that's allowed to be in my thing. So I didn't, like, think to claim it.
Right. Especially because you don't drink, so.
Because I don't drink, I wouldn't normally be traveling with it. And, like, it wasn't, like, on my person. So I wasn't, like, remembering that I had, like, my ice wine with me. Anyways, they, like, pulled my thing off the line. And then I was, like, the last person onto my flight. It was the worst. I was, like, so embarrassed. And, like, just, like, really, like, kind of like shaken up because like I was younger and I wasn't like, I was like, what have I done? Like, did I do something wrong? Like, oh fuck. I was really nervous. Though. It was horrible.
Yeah. I used to actually travel with quite a bit of stuff because I liked bringing back alcohol from like different places, like Denmark. When I was traveling, oh my goodness, I have like such a funny, cute story about Denmark. I just remembered. They have fantastic breweries out there, like for craft beer and stuff. And when I was getting on the flight in Copenhagen, my grandma was like waiting at the gate, and I'm like, I have to go. They had like a pop-up shop for this one
Grandma, I gotta go get a beer to put in the bottom of my backpack.
But it was weird because it was like a pop-up shop, but they did it like duty-free style. But it was so annoying that I did this. I think I had a couple beers by then too anyway. But it was annoying that I did this because I think I bought like 2 6-packs for each of my like regional bar managers. Or like my bar manager and my
so
regional.
So annoying to travel with.
Exactly. That's why it was so annoying that I did this because I had to carry it as like a bag.
Fuck.
Like 2 6-packs.
Yeah.
And I think we had to change planes or something like that. Oh my gosh, it was the worst.
Dude, there was the one time, I think I might have told this when we were going through security. I can't remember where I was even. But there was this woman like arguing about wanting to keep a free complimentary bottle. Like it was a complimentary bottle of wine from her hotel. And she was like arguing at security because they were like, you can't take like a fucking like wine bottle, like a full-sized wine bottle on the plane. Like, no. And she was like, it was complimentary at my hotel. And they were like,
doesn't matter.
I don't care. And she was like, why would they even give it out of the hotels if you can't bring it? And they were like, to drink
at the hotel.
At the hotel. Like, but I'm pretty sure they weren't like, I can't remember where I was, but they weren't like super fluent in English, and she was like yelling at them in English. And then like people behind us were like, just get rid of the wine. Like, oh my God, like you're holding up everybody. Cause it was like in a connecting,
I see.
thing. Like, so like everybody like had somewhere to be like right now kind of thing. And she's holding up this fucking line about, you did not even pay for that wine.
Yeah.
Like this isn't even like a bottle that you paid super like a ton of money for in like some foreign like destination. Like you got this for free. I can guarantee that's a $5 bottle of wine.
No kidding.
That you're like holding up everybody's flights for. Fuck off. Oh my God, man.
Oh, dude, airports are like, this is just turning into an airport like
horror story.
But airports are like truly a lawless place. It's weird because there's so many strict rules, but like also it's like weirdly lawless.
Yeah.
Like especially like when I was drinking, this was like my time to shine because nobody knew if I was coming from home or like where I was going. Like, did I just arrive from Australia and it's actually like 11 at night for me? You don't know. So it's like fine. It's
appropriate that I'm drunk right now.
Yes. And I would, like, I was talking to our friend Nolan when I was dropping him off at the airport because I wanted him to get there early because like this kid likes to freaking leave it to the last second. And he, oh my goodness, the last time I dropped him off at the airport, he knows this. Okay. This is not me like shading him behind his back. Okay. I told him this already. he was like stressing because we hit a little bit of traffic and he was like, I'm gonna miss my flight. And I'm like, I told you we needed to leave earlier. You didn't want to. Anyway, so this time I was like, just like grab a drink, you know, like we're gonna get there just like an hour and a half before your flight, which is like what you're supposed to. Yeah. And you can like grab a drink. He's like, I can't drink on the plane or like drink before my flight. And I was like, what do you mean? That was my favorite. If I could pick a favorite time to drink, it was before my flight. One time I almost missed a flight because
I was having such a ball.
I surprisingly, like, I've never been that person that was like too drunk to get on a plane. I think just because like I handled myself swimmingly on like 6 beers. But they called, this is so embarrassing. They called us to our flight, but the lineup was so long that I went back. Like they called my zone, okay? But like the lineup for my zone,
fuck it.
I did. I went back and got a full pint of beer at the bar that I was just sitting at, and I was drinking it, and then they called my name over the pager.
They're like, Alyssa, can you put down that goddamn Budweiser and get on your flight? Thank you.
They did. And it was, for some reason, I always left out of like that specific thing. And so the bartenders there, like, they were really nice, and I feel like they like recognized me, so they would like always...
That's never good. No. Especially at a place like an airport. Like, that's the last place you should be recognized as a regular customer.
At a bar.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were super nice to me, so I was like having a good time. Like, probably 4 pints in, you know? This is a lot. Anyway, I did make it on that flight, but like, imagine like reeking like Pilsner. And they're like calling your name over the mic. They like, it's like fresh on my breath. Sort of thing.
9 a.m.
I did that one time when I was coming to visit you in LA. I had like a drink before I got on the plane, and then I forgot like how long the flight from Toronto to LA is.
It is.
It's pretty long.
It's such a bitch.
So like I had this problem where like if somebody offered me to buy a drink. I had to. Like, saying no was
myself.
like not an option. Yeah. So I didn't realize they were going to come around quite so often. And so every time that they came around, I would order a beer, but I also was the person who would never just order the one because I didn't know if they were going to come back. So I would order 2.
You're sitting there with like 12 beers like at your feet.
And I think I probably had like, I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 like tall boys on this fucking flight. Okay. Like maybe that's a stretch, but I know that they came around twice and I ordered 2 each time. And then I had like 1 at the airport. Anyway, we were like, I knew that we were getting close to landing and I got up to go to the bathroom and I like got into the bathroom and I was kind of like, oh fuck.
Forgot how many beers I ordered just now. And
I was like coming to see you and I was like, I need to sober up a little. Like, I'm gonna come.
Is anyone walking around with coffees or what's going on?
I'm gonna like come to the hotel and you're like dead sober and I'm like, shut.
Hey.
I did it. I was fine because the drive there was actually like quite long. But I was like, oh, shit.
Gave you a little bit of extra time.
And then you were coming like home from dinner and I was like, okay, perfect.
It's so funny because like I can hardly remember a time where you drank now.
Yeah.
Like it's so, because I don't think that you would drink like extensively around me anyways normally. No. So like I didn't.
That's why I was so stressed.
Yeah, but it's so funny because like I couldn't like I would never think that you were drinking before that.
Quite that much.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. It's weird. Like I could really, really hold my own until like a very specific point. And like hold my own really well with a lot of alcohol. But then it was like even just like, and my
one sip too much.
Yeah. My girlfriend Jen, she said that to me when we were in Vegas. She's like, it's crazy. You can take down so much alcohol and you're absolutely fine. And then it's like, there's the one. But then it's like, it's not even that I go from like being basically dead sober to like I'm drunk now. It's like dead sober to like you're holding me
belligerent.
Up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like my like skirt's riding up and I'm like, anyway, no, I always only had like 1 or 2 drinks when I was around you.
Yeah. There you go.
On purpose. Yeah. Oh, fun times.
Oh, you drinking before flights was me eating before flights.
Oh.
I just like pack in as much food as I possibly can.
Yeah. That's, I feel like, what I have to do now. I mean, airports used to be like my favorite place in the world. Nolan was saying it stresses him out. And I'm like, no, they're like, that's my Disneyland.
I don't like, the thing is like, in theory, I like the idea of like showing up early, whatever kind of thing. Like, but the food like isn't that good at airports. So
my love of airports surrounded only alcohol.
Yeah.
I don't like them now.
Yeah.
There's nothing nice about them. They're
not
now.
That fun.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you have another travel story? What were we just talking about?
We were talking about how you hate airports now because you don't drink, and now they're the worst. Yeah,
they are the worst. When I went to Australia, sorry, I promise I'll stop telling drinking stories. When I went to Australia, the thing I wanted to do the most, I actually called you and told you this while I was in Australia, was walk across the Sydney Harbour Bridge, the top of the Sydney Harbour Bridge, because of the Mary-Kate and Ashley movie. Our Lips Are Sealed. Like,
specifically Our Lips Are Sealed, yeah.
I had to watch it before I even did this again to like full circle the moment. And I remembered it being so much more than it was, but I still just needed to have it done. You know what I mean? Like it was like a bucket list sort of thing I needed to check off. Anyway, I think it actually was on my bucket list. I can't remember. But this was like so important to me. It was like, number one, if everything else goes wrong on this Australia trip, I have to walk across the
Mary-Kate and
the
Ashley moment needs to happen.
Absolutely. It was like Sydney Opera House was big for me, but like Sydney Harbour Bridge was more
bigger.
It was bigger.
Yeah.
So we had like planned to do this at the end of our trip, which was like fine with me. I was like, okay, as long as, and that was the thing, like the person I was traveling with was like, do you mind if we do this? Do we do it? Like if we like change up the plans? I'm like, yes, absolutely. We need to get back to the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Yeah. So the bridge, very, very important. Let's not forget it.
So anyway, we had left it till like the last couple days of the trip to do this Sydney Harbour Bridge excursion. And the day of, I was like so fucking pumped. I was so excited to do this. I was like, hell yeah, this shit was like $500. It was outrageously priced.
What?
Dude, I could have never prepared for how expensive it was to climb the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
For why?
I don't know if it's like a liability thing, like if they have to have like such high liability insurance that it costs them that much money, or like what it is. It's so expensive.
Damn.
Yeah.
What was that budget on that Mary-Kate and Ashley freaking movie?
Yeah, because they also did it like they closed down the company like from anybody else being there while they were on it.
Oh, wow.
And they also rented out Luna Park. Luna Park was also another one that I like really needed to get to, which I did get to go to because of Mary-Kate and Ashley also. Anyway, so it was very expensive. It was like this big thing. And beforehand, we went to get lunch. So I'm pretty sure also when I was on vacation, like I had no guilt for drinking. Like when I was at home, guilty as charged, okay? But when I was on vacation, it didn't bother me to like get up and have a drink. And like I didn't feel like anyone was judging me at all. So I was like, let's get lit. So I think we had probably gotten up and like had drinks with breakfast or something. And then this bridge walk was at like 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. or something. Well, no, because the sun was going down when we came back down. So it must have been dinner that we had. But we just stopped like close to the bridge and had like a burger and a beer. And I think we had like 2 or 3 beers, okay? But
let me clarify. A burger and 3 beers.
Yeah, I really, really liked beer. And then we made our way to the Sydney Harbor Bridge because you have to get there like super early to get like fitted for your harness and stuff like that. And like, it's just this whole thing. Actually, like it's a lot less easy than you would think. It's like a big commitment. But so we get there, I think like an hour goes by, maybe like an hour and a half or whatever. Thank goodness. And we finally like get fitted. It takes like so long for them to do like the briefing and the demonstrations and stuff. You actually have to like clip yourself onto this thing. Like it's like a fake.
Is it not just a fucking bridge?
No, it's like it's high as fuck up.
Hold on.
You walk across the crest of it. Sam needs to look at the Sydney Harbor Bridge.
Even when you first called it an excursion, I was like, it's a bridge.
No. You like walk through.
Oh, so you walk on the high part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they tell you shit about how the bridge was made. It was actually really cool. $500 though? Don't know.
That's fucking crazy. $500 for me to walk?
Yeah. It's a trek too. Especially after you just drank 3 beers.
Yeah.
Anyway. So anyway, we get through like the safety demonstrations and stuff like that. They put you into this room. There's only like 8 of you that go on at a time because I think there's like only 2 guides. Like one in the front, one in the back. And everything's like almost ready to go. Like we're just about to get changed. And these bitches come in with a breathalyzer.
Oh, fuck.
Dude.
They're like, hold on, we just need to make sure you guys weren't having burgers and beers before this.
This was nowhere on like any booking, any like before you go list on any travel site in the Mary-Kate and Ashley movie.
Mary-Kate, Ashley, let's just breathalyze you first.
Are you joking me? This was nowhere. They walked in with that thing and I literally was like...
Went rigid.
Dude, I was pissing my pants. I was like so fucking scared. And like... For some reason, it was like as if like a police officer had pulled me over. Like that's how like anxious I was. But like at the end of the day, they just like wouldn't let you go, sort of thing.
Would they give you your money back? Probably not.
No. And
Fuckers.
That was the thing. They said before they breathalyzed us. Dude, before they breathalyzed us, they said if you don't pass the breathalyzer, like if you go over the legal amount, then you don't get to do the bridge walk and you don't get your money back because they can't fill your spot. Like you're literally about to do the bridge walk. And they breathalyze everybody. And I didn't realize this, but like the breathalyzer doesn't like really do anything to alert the breather that like you've gone over or whatever. Anyway, they're calling all of these names. And they don't call mine and the person I'm traveling with. And they're like, okay, you guys can go in. and then we're sitting in this room on these like little cubes. Oh, God. And they're like, okay, so you just went a little bit over the breathalyzer.
Okay, so you guys are drunks, unfortunately.
And they were like, so... And just kind of like did the lean in thing. And I was like, oh, like we just like had a beer right before we came, like literally right before we came. So it's probably just like still in our system, but it was just like a beer with lunch. And they were like, okay, you guys can go. I was like, literally, are you joking me? If those
were the 3 beers that brought you down.
Dude, I was shitting my pants. I like, it was so embarrassing when everybody else got to go put on their fucking harness and like me and this person are just
sitting. Pull you aside to slap you on the wrist.
Oh my gosh. It was just horrific. And like, honestly, when we got there, like 2 hours beforehand, I was a little buzzed, but like at this point I felt like really normal, right?
Yeah.
But I think over there, like the drinking,
nothing
like,
sobers you up like someone pulling you off to the side to shame you for your alcohol consumption.
Yeah, well, and like I think I was like 0.06 or something like that, or 0.07. It was like 0.05 you had to pass or something. And I understand why they have that in place. That makes so much sense. Like, you can't have a bunch of drunk people like that fucking high up in the air, like, Jesus Christ. But I don't know why it didn't like occur to me. Like,
yeah,
like, obviously if I'm like going to drive or something like that, 100%, but like it didn't think of like walking. Yeah. Like, this wasn't really like calculating how long it was going to take for this to metabolize for me to walk across this bridge.
I don't think I ever heard that story.
Really? I was probably too embarrassed to tell you that I almost didn't get to like do my bucket list because I had a beer.
I really like that your bucket list corresponds with like Mary-Kate and Ashley movies.
Too often it does. I really wanted to go,
but like not as like a 14-year-old.
No, as like a 26-year-old lady.
Yeah.
I really wanted to go to the Bahamas because of Holiday in the Sun.
The fact that you can even name multiple, I cannot.
Billboard Dad, another great one. I wanted to become a diver because of that.
Billboard Dad?
Billboard Dad. Yeah, they put their dad on a billboard so that he could get a date.
And this was like this was enough of a premise to have a full movie out of it?
Yeah, and then they meet these boys and they're like divers, like good like diving board divers.
Love them. Love happened? A good diving board diver.
Someone was like at an art shop. They had like an art, maybe the dad was an artist.
No, the dad's got a lot going on for himself.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh, another one that was really great was, oh shoot, now I'm going to break my streak. What was the Paris one? Can't remember.
Do you have billboard aspirations due to Billboard Dad?
Do I have billboard aspirations? Actually, no. I think it would be cool if like for
that one didn't resonate with you.
No, well, but like I wanted to be a diver out of that one.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to learn how to like dive off of like the tall diving boards because of that.
Dive off of the Sydney Harbor Bridge.
No. I asked them when we were walking across the Sydney Harbor Bridge if there were sharks in the harbor, and they were like, "Oh yeah." I don't know if that's how an Australian. Yeah, I'm usually good with an Australian accent. Oh yeah. No, I don't know how to do it.
Oh yeah.
My Australian accent's not as good anymore. It used to be great.
It went sideways with the strep throat.
Yeah. yeah. But yeah, they were just like so casually like, oh yeah. Yeah, there's
absolutely
there's sharks in there. I think
underneath our feet currently.
I asked if there were great whites and they said no, but I think they said bull sharks. Or not usually, I think they said, but then they said bull sharks. And we went to, also I wanted to go to Manly Beach because of our lips are sealed also. And also, yeah, anyway. A lot of things coincided with Mary-Kate and Ashley. But when we went to Manly, there were people like on their boats, like out a ways, like their boats were tied into the buoys or whatever. And there were people just like casually paddleboarding there. And this is like the open ocean in Australia. And I asked the person I was with, and they had lived there. And I was like, is this like safe? And they were like, no.
No, not at all.
Like, because it wasn't like actually the beach, right? Like this was like we were on like a ferry coming in. It was like the open ocean.
When I was in Bora, we went like swimming with sharks. They're like super relaxed there about the weirdest shit. Like really rigid about some things and then like really, really relaxed about other things. So we had gone out and there was like a bunch of us. And they were like, okay, well, there's like sharks below us. So if you guys want to go swimming with the sharks, then you guys can hop in now. And we were like, okay. Like there were a few people that were like, oh, absolutely the fuck not. But there was a lot of people that were like, sure. So we like strapped on our shit and like fucking went down.
You were one of those people who was like, why not?
Well, I just have to say that like I'm not scared of animals, like basically in any capacity.
Right.
But yeah, absolutely. I was like in there like a fucking dirty shirt. So I was in there swimming around with little sharks and stuff like that. And then we came back up and someone was asking, as I was coming back up, I heard like the one guy talking to the tour guide and he was like, so what type of sharks are those? And he was like, oh, they're whatever. I want to say maybe they're black tip sharks or something. And he was like, oh, so they're like friendly. And he was like, oh, super dangerous. And we were like, and I was like getting out of the water like a little bit quicker than before. Like I was like, why would you not say to us like they're actually like, ooh yeah, really into human flesh. They didn't tell us shit. And then also we were in this other area because they found like a pod of like stingrays. I don't know if you call it a pod. They found a bunch of stingrays. And so we were in there with them, which are dangerous in their own right. You know, Steve Irwin didn't have a good time.
Okay, but I can tell you why after.
Why not now?
Okay, because I didn't want to interrupt your story rudely.
Okay, well then I'll just be quick because it's quick. But anyways, I was recording with my phone. I think I might have told this in the podcast, but I was recording with my phone underwater, like the stingrays and stuff like that. And then we were in shallow water, so it was like maybe up to like my, like just under my shoulder kind of thing. And then I was like looking back at the footage, and there was like just 2 sharks that were also just circling around our group, and like nobody noticed while we were there. And then the same thing happened. I was like underneath, like actually underneath the water with my phone. And then like same thing, it just like went right past me, and I wasn't like paying attention to my surroundings, so I was looking at my phone kind of thing, and it just went right past me, and I was just like, ooh.
Dude, was this the same like the black tip sharks or whatever they were?
I don't think these were the black tip ones. They were different. Tell me about Steve Irwin.
Okay, so I can't remember part of the story, but when I was in Belize, we did this like excursion that was like snorkeling, and it was actually like very like intensive. Like it was really, really cool. They were really like into it. Anyway, he was telling us about stingrays because we were in this part where, again, it was like shallow water, but it was like far out still. And
like a sandbar kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he was like, we're going to swim with stingrays and sharks. And he was explaining why people think that stingrays are scary and like dangerous. And he was talking about Steve Irwin. And he said that Steve Irwin had like made a couple of like really big mistakes during that day. Because you're supposed to hold stingrays with like their mouth toward you because the stinger is on the back. And if they like get scared or they feel like they're being attacked or something like that, that's when they'll shoot out their stinger. And he said that it like very rarely happens because they're like so docile.
Yeah.
And so he said the first thing is that Steve Irwin was holding it the wrong way, but he was also holding the stinger so that it like was directly like into his heart. Like it, oof. So not only did the stinger sting him, but it went like, I don't know if it was through his heart or like a artery or like what arteries are like in your heart. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not a fucking scientist. I say that all the time. But anyway, so he, and I guess the stingray like got spooked or something happened or whatever. But he was holding it backwards, and then he was also holding it so that the stinger was right like, there. Yeah, they said like, either one of those things, it probably would have been obviously like really detrimental. But those two combined, it was like, obviously, anyway, we got to pet these beautiful stingrays. They were so cute. But
dude, I love them.
They're so sweet.
They're like little sea puppies.
They're so sweet.
Yeah, I love
them so
too.
much, and they're so soft. But I swam with sharks too, but they weren't like literally. You would look at them and you'd be like, "That's a shark."
That's a shark.
Yeah, they were like this big, like maybe like a double Subway sandwich. So like 2 feet long and really sweet. I feel like somebody said they were nurse sharks, but I could be wrong in saying that.
Nurse sharks?
Yeah. But anyway, they were like just super sweet little sharks.
Babies.
Yeah. And they did like throw chum into the water, which is like terrifying. But
whilst you were in there?
I don't know if it was beforehand to like summon them or like what.
Summon the sharks.
Yeah. But it was actually, that was really, really cool. Going and doing that snorkeling adventure. There were a lot of really cool fish. And then I think we saw like one type of sea urchin or something like that like if you touched it, you'd be like fucked. And we saw it like 3 times. And I was like, this is scary.
A little too close.
Yeah, this is like, ooh.
Yeah. The thing that I really liked about Bora was that we would like you would have to go looking for the animals. Because like I've been in other places where like, yeah, you can go swimming with dolphins and sharks, but it's because they're in an aquarium or like, you know, whatever. But I thought that was really cool because we actually had to spend quite a bit of time boating around to find where sharks were like at that moment kind of thing. And I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah, in Belize it was in the ocean. Yes. I'm really bad with like sea/ocean shit. Geography is not my strong suit. But we were in the ocean, but they kind of like understood the patterns of the fish, so they knew like, okay, stingrays are probably going to be here and like the sharks are probably going to be over here, sort of thing. But that was really cool. I really, really like Belize. Actually, I'd love to go back.
Yeah,
so beautiful.
Speaking of patterns, that's when we went to like a few different countries in Africa, I can't remember what the specific country we were in for like the migration of the wildebeest, but they like track their pattern around, so then you go at specific times if you want to see like the crossing, which is like cool. The thing. So there's like a big river like that divides the one safari, and so like literally thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of these wildebeest like line up like along the river kind of thing in this like huge pack, and they stand there for fucking hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and then one goes and then they all start going at once. It was the most like bizarre thing ever. Like it was just so weird that it just took like one like dipping their toe in, and then everyone was like, okay, fuck it, like let's go. Like they all would like run at once. It was so fucking bizarre, man.
Did you see the first one?
I saw two crossings.
But did you see like the first?
I don't think we did. We were there for like actually 6 hours the one day waiting for the crossing. I remember the one for sure. We were already there. So I think that like, because I was like taking pictures the whole time as well. And so I think that we did see it for that one, like kind of where it first started. But for the other one, because also like you can't have too many of like the jeeps like in the safari at once, so they'll only take out like a specific amount of groups, and then you also can't be too close to each other because they don't like you to crowd around the animals. So they have to communicate with all the other like safari groups, like organizations kind of thing, about where you're allowed to be. So we were like, for the second one that I saw, we were all on this hillside, and all the jeeps were kind of like dotted throughout the area, and then someone came over like the speaker to say that it had happened. Like they started crossing and all these jeeps were like like, and they were all like, people were like falling like down in the jeeps like when they were standing up like trying to see it, and then they were like all falling because the tour guides were just like kicking it into high gear like to fucking bring us all down there. So then they like sped us all down there to like the river border so that we could all watch.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was neat.
Here's my question for you. After all those stories that were like really not that much about traveling, but like traveling too.
Yeah. Just getting there was the main part.
Sorry about that, guys. Out of all of the places that you've traveled, what was your favorite and why?
Okay. I would normally always like jump and say Japan, but this is my thing with traveling. When I'm traveling, I'm not like, I guess that I'm just like there, I'm being present kind of thing. So I'm not like as like nostalgic or like feeling as like sensitive towards the place. But then when I leave, the longer that I'm gone, the more that I look back fondly. And I'm like, oh, that was actually really, really cool. So I would be inclined to say like the different countries that we went to in Africa, because each of them were so different. They had different animals. The landscape was so different and stuff like that. So I like look back at that whole trip that we did really fondly now. But at the time, like it's just super time consuming to travel around that continent, and you have to take like tiny little planes between different countries, and and so it was like a real process when we were there. Like we took something fucking ridiculous, like 18 flights or something within the 3 weeks. So it was like an overwhelming trip. But the longer that I'm away, the more that I look back fondly. So I would say probably, I'm gonna give you the three. Bora, Japan are the places that we went in Africa.
Crazy.
Yeah. What about you?
But okay, so tell me why Bora Bora and why Japan? Like obviously you, like there's so many different things, but like maybe give me like one from each. Yeah, so well, first of all, in Africa, I think Kenya was probably my favorite location that we went to. And that was just like, it was just so cool to see those animals like in their natural habitat up close kind of thing. It was just like incredible. And I had a really fun time taking pictures there. Like if I could go be a wildlife photographer, I would. You can.
I know, but not really. I don't feel like I could make money off of it. But that was like the most relaxing, enjoyable thing ever. So that was that. And then Bora Bora was just like, I've said it before, it's like a fucking screensaver. Like it's the most unbelievably like naturally beautiful like paradise. Like the water's so fucking clear, like so teal blue. Like it was just like stunning. Like every day that we were there, we were like, I cannot believe we're fucking here. Yeah, like it was amazing.
Did it smell good? Like did the air smell good?
It smelled kind of like clean and like salty, I guess. Yeah, because we were like surrounded by water.
I love the way that different places smell.
Yeah. But that place was just really cool. And same thing there. Like, it was cool, like, being able to, like, see all the different wildlife in its little habitats. And then Japan, because everything. It's so cool. Like, I love Japan. I love, like, all the, like, little shrines. Like, you can just walk anywhere and you'll, like, come across, like, really cool little areas and shrines and different stuff like that. The culture's really neat. The food's awesome. Like, it's just... And even, like, the people there were so, like, gracious and so kind to us, and, like, would really, like, go out of their way to try and speak English with us, which they do not have to do at all, obviously. Like, we're in their country.
Yeah.
But they would, like, go out of their way to, like, practice English with us and stuff. And it was just like, a really enjoyable experience overall.
Yeah.
But hit me with your favorite places and why.
Oh, it's so hard because, like, I have
all the places.
Yeah, I have specific things in each place that, like, were so special to me. Mm-hmm. I think number one, as you know, my favorite. Yeah, Iceland. Honestly, like, Iceland is so beautiful. It's
very otherworldly.
Absolutely, exactly. It's just like, it's nothing like I could have ever imagined. It wasn't something that I grew up thinking about, like, a travel destination, like a trip to Iceland. But it was absolutely stunning. I had such a great time. I went with my grandma. It was just so beautiful. The people were very to the point. Yeah. And I loved it. I was like, yes,
my people.
Yes, my people. And it, like, true. And, like, same in Denmark, honestly. They were like that as well. Like, they were kind, but they were like, you know, this, let's do it sort of thing. And I just really respected that because they were never rude. They were just, like, matter of fact.
Yeah.
And they were really passionate about their history and stuff like that. And I'm sure that it was because I took a lot of, like excursions with them and stuff like that. And so that's, like, their job. But you can kind of tell when things are rehearsed and when people
they feel, like, strongly about what they're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I took a 14-hour bus ride. It was 7 hours there, 7 hours back. And this woman talked about the history for, like, most of the time.
She's like, she's like, dude, let me launch into this 14-hour history lesson I'm about to give you.
It was wild. And actually, I didn't know that Denmark did some pretty horrific things to Iceland. And so it really, like, opened my eyes, honestly. And it was really, really interesting to learn about because I'm, like, so interested in, like, my heritage of being, like, Danish. So yeah, that was really crazy to learn about. But I just really love Iceland so much. Like, if I could go back tomorrow, I absolutely would.
Yeah.
100%. Love it there. I mean, I really appreciate every trip that I've been on. Going to the Tikal, the Mayan ruins in Guatemala. Excuse me. That was amazing. I really like seeing how, like, people lived. Like, I'm not super huge on like, art and stuff like that. Like, I respect it, but it's not the same to me as, like, going to a palace or, like, like, the ruins and stuff like that. Like, I really like hearing about and, like, seeing people's, like, rooms and stuff like that. So the Tikal was amazing. We got to climb up a Mayan temple and watch the sunrise over the jungle.
Very majestic.
Unreal. Little ridiculous when we had to wake up at 2 a.m. to get in the bus to go there. And when we were walking across, I didn't realize, but there were, like, giant spiders walking across in front of us, and they told us later. Whoa. Because they were making noise, and we were like, what's making noise? And they were like, oh, it's just the ants. They were spiders. Anyway.
Oh, it's just those fucking gigantic spiders.
Dude. Because it was pitch black when we were, like, walking into the jungle. It was pretty spooky. And there were howler monkeys that were awake. And little known fact, I can't remember what dinosaur I think it might have been the T-Rex, but that's what they used for the sound effects in Jurassic Park was howler monkeys. They're fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
The sounds.
I want to say that I traveled to somewhere where there was, like, monkeys, and, like, the sounds they make are not fucking normal.
And, like, especially at, like, 3 a.m.
Yeah.
It's a little spooky. So that was, like, amazing. Going to Fredericksburg Castle in Denmark was unreal. It's such, like, a beautiful, beautiful castle. I think we went to Amaliaborg as well. No, I'm wrong on that one. There was another one that we went to that was really beautiful. Can't remember the name though. And then you and I, when we were in Paris, we went to the Palace of Versailles.
Yeah.
Unreal. I think like Sam is such a good sport. Like I literally take so long in castles because I get like the audio guide.
She needs to soak it in.
Yeah, and I'm not a person who like fast forwards the audio guide. Like I'm listening to the whole audio guide. And I really like that. The Hallway of Mirrors was obviously
it was gorgeous.
So gorgeous, but also seeing Marie Antoinette's like reconstructed bedroom, unreal.
Yeah.
Really loved that. And I had one more, and now I'm forgetting. Palaces.
They had some dope fucking rugs.
Like that you were like into the rugs.
Yeah, they were dope.
I like learning about history.
Yeah.
Yeah, through that kind of thing. Like I don't know. I'm sure like the Louvre is like that for a lot of people. The Louvre was cool. I was really excited to see the Mona Lisa. Starry Night really got me. For some reason.
I know. I had the same fucking experience. That's at MoMA.
Yeah. We saw that when we were in New York. But Mona Lisa didn't give me the same thing for some reason. I think just because it was like so far away.
Yeah. That's what I like about Starry Night too, because you can get so close to it. And it's like really cool to see like the brush strokes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But palaces for me are like, that's
Number one.
where it's at. Yeah. 100%. You could literally like, I don't think I'll ever see enough.
All right. Let's go on a palace tour.
Yeah.
Grand palace tour.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? I like everywhere. I really like New York for different reasons. I liked Australia. Was a really, really cool trip. It was really nice to go over there. I mean, my whole Central America trip was really cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nicaragua, I was like so surprised at how much I loved it there.
Do you find that you're kind of the same, that like you look back more fondly like once after you're out of it?
Yeah, except for Iceland.
Yeah.
Every day in Iceland, my grandma and I would sit down at the end of the day and just like gush.
That's how we were in Japan. Like every time we've been to Japan, it's been like that. But I think that part of it is that like because it's like super Western there, and it's like very similar, like it's really easy to get around. It's like really like there's Uber there's like all that kind of shit, so it's like very like accessible and easy, and like not as like, whereas like, you know, when we were like in Vietnam and stuff like that, there's like language barrier, it's a little bit harder to get around, like it's like a little bit more disorienting, I think. And so I think that those are the places that I look back fondly after the fact, because I'm like, the stress of like getting around aside, this was really cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's what I liked about my trip to Central America, because we took it kind of day by day, and the only stress was like when I almost got left at that rest stop in Guatemala. Yeah, that was stressful.
That doesn't do it.
No, but other than that, like it was fine. And Jen actually knew like a surprising amount of Spanish. So yeah, Jen was like pretty good, because she had been to Central America she went to South America for 3 months. Before we did our 6 week, or 2 months, 3 months, can't remember. Jen, let me know. But anyway, so she knew like more Spanish than I did, so that was like helpful, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I don't know. Where's the first place you would go after
COVID?
We're allowed to travel? Well, I guess we're allowed to travel, but after it's safe to travel.
Where's the place I would want to go, or where am I actually going to be going? Probably.
No, where do you want to go?
Oh, okay. I recently got like a little bit of like a penchant to go to Egypt.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Talk to my mom.
Yeah, oh, really? She's
yes.
like all about it?
She like literally anytime I walked into her room growing up, she was watching something about the pyramids.
I find like that whole like history really, really interesting. So I think it'd be cool to go there and just like fucking like go through all the museums and stuff. But where else have I been wanting to go? I mean, I would like to go back to Japan. Yeah. What about you?
Greece is always like very top of my list.
Yeah.
Because that's like the next place that it's like bucket list. But I'm really...
What Mary-Kate and Ashley movie was that in?
None.
Oh.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I'm not even joking.
Perfect. So we're going to have to get matching pants so we can fulfill that.
Well, I already don't want you to throw out anything that we own together.
Oh, I'm aware.
So it's like kind of the same thing. Sisterhood of the Closet.
Yeah.
But the Philippines, I'd be really interested to go to. But also, I really still want to go to Bali. I want to travel on Bali.
I actually am, I'm down for that too.
Really? Bali?
Yeah, Indonesia was like pretty freaking cool.
That's so interesting, because I feel like every time I bring up Bali, you're kind of like, meh.
Yeah, I mean, again, I've gotten soft in my old age.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is great news for me.
Yeah, and I do think like a little try. It's just, you know what it is, like more than anything, I'm like pretty much like yes to any destination, no to the flight.
Right.
Like
right.
I do not want to take the 20-hour flight to get there.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, yeah. That's where like I want to, I think it would be if I had like all the money in the world and all the time in the world, I would like to plan more trips where like you're flying a little bit closer and then kind of carrying on to the further destination, because those long haul flights are brutal.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. I want to do some circuits, you know? That's what I want.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, well, catch us in Bali 2022.
Maybe.
I said 2022.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably more realistic.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
We got lots of time to save.
Yeah, we really do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, hopefully that was interesting. I feel like we didn't really talk much about the destination.
We just dicked around.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's what you do.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Big shout out to Matt. Thank you, Matt, for co-hosting last week for me.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
He really loved it. He was watching himself this morning.
Was he?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening.
And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.